Well, you'll notice my background is different. I'm in Cleveland. But anyways, so check this out. Don, you're talking a lot of smack. I'm not going to respond. I don't care. Besides, every time I point out something obvious, you just happen to try to have it taken down and call the cops on me. Oh, and we're going to explore that a little bit. But not now, not now. Instead, I'm going to return a classic. Something that um, everyone who's paying attention, whoever paid attention, misses. An old favorite, Don Roley, Family Man. Well, this is 8, 9 years ago that this video used to be up here, and I just want to show it to you because Don Roley had it taken down. He doesn't want you to see it. He's afraid that you'll see the exposure of who he really is and how much of a man he is who just loves his family. I'm just talking a little bit so you can read that on the bottom. So don't have to pause the video.
Don Roley, family man. He's continuously called a coward because this guy is over 50 years old, and he said, no, I'm not going to show up here and let you guys, call the cops on me. It has to be above board. It has to be legal. So only a sanctioned mixed martial arts event will Ron show up to. And this guy... It's got to be neutral ground. He won't say where this neutral ground is. Now, the upshot of this is that basically Ron is admitting in a way that he can't keep his critics away from him by fear of his skills. If it got down to it, he's dead. He's going to the hospital. It's no contest between anyone that's going to be here, especially me and him. If it comes down to a fight, he's losing and losing badly. So he can't keep us away with threats, of being able to beat us up. He's hiding behind the law. He has made it quite clear that if it comes down to a fight, one or both of us is going to jail, and one of us is definitely going to be me if it happens.
Now, Don, you do realize that your rules were in violation of Kentucky Revised Statute 508.020, assault of the second degree. A person guilty of assault in the second degree when he intentionally causes serious physical injury to another person. And this is assault in the second degree is a Class C felony.
Again, I have got a wife and kids. I have a family that I want to go back to on Monday and see. Ron styles himself as a modern ninja and information gatherer. I've got to assume that he's at least read my blog. 2 weeks ago, I put up a blog basically ranting about a silly Facebook chain letter type thing where people were saying, spread this around to help raise awareness for women's breast cancer. I had problems with it because A, it wasn't really about raising awareness for breast cancer, and B, my wife actually has ovarian cancer. A couple weeks ago, I said this. I said in that blog that she's getting ready for a third round of chemo. So, really, Ron is betting that because I am not scared of his physical skills, that I will not show up because I want to be there to hold my wife's hand as she goes through chemo. As fun as it is to videotape me humiliating Ron and then posting it on YouTube, that would be used as evidence to keep me from making breakfast for my kids because their mother is too sick to get out of bed in the morning. So if Ron shows up here and agrees to sparring, because let's face it,
I love the whole hiding behind your family thing, Don. It's cute.
if Ron shows up here and agrees to sparring, because let's face it, if Ron shows up here and agrees to sparring, because let's face it, if Ron shows up here and agrees to sparring, because let's face it, yes, martial arts does have sparring. This is a martial arts event. There could be a sparring. No one would go to jail in that case. Ron would go to the hospital, but nobody would go to jail. If he shows up, then yeah, I'm willing to give him a match. You know, if he wants a challenge, the only conditions are, it's only going to be him, it's only going to be me, there's going to be no weapons, and people jump in to make sure that as soon as somebody gets a serious wound that will send him to the hospital, everything's over.
Don, since you left no other conditions, I have to assume that what you were stating for your rules was, in fact, your intent to carry out a felony assault upon my person, which is just completely ridiculous, and it shows that you really don't give a fuck about your family. Otherwise, why would you want to go to prison?
You do not have an excuse to show up here at all. Got it? Show up, and you know that you are facing someone who knows that you threatened his family.
Don, I didn't threaten your family. But you're the one who brought your family into this, hiding behind them in Lexington, Kentucky as an excuse for why you wouldn't man the fuck up. Really. I mean, you could have named the location for neutral ground for me to meet you at. 2, why the fuck do you even care about your family? You were willing to commit a felony assault and go to prison just to look cool for people on the internet. 3, well, cowards always hide behind women and children. And here's the thing, I don't like you. You've hounded me, you've harassed up not only myself but other people. You're a coward, and you're a coward who will prey on anyone who has threatened other people's families, who has threatened other people, and now you expect people to give a shit about your family? Fuck off.
Be prepared. Got it? Everything will be recorded. Everything will be above board. Everything will be shown to the world as you are humiliated one way or the other.
I do apologize for the wording being so small. This is a screenshot of what it looks like on the website for Washington, D.C. DC Code 22-404.01, aggravated assault. Person commits the offense of aggravated assault if, 1, by any means, that person causes serious bodily injury to another person, or under circumstances manifesting indifference to human life, that person intentionally and knowingly engages in conduct which creates grave risk of serious bodily injury to another person, thereby causes serious bodily injury. Subsection B, any person convicted of aggravated assault is fined $10,000 and can be imprisoned for 10 years or both. Any person attempting to commit aggravated assault can be fined $5,000 and or 5 years in prison, or both. So there you have, Don, you freaking moron. You do realize that under this DC code, that, and because it is the District of Columbia here, that you will do your time in the feds. That means you will do 85% of your time. That means on a 10-year stretch, you're doing 8.5. On a 5-year stretch, you're doing 4.25. Okay, here's the problem you have. You're wanting to commit a felony in order to kick my ass because I'm tired of your bullshit and your harassment and everything else. For that family that you love so much, right, listen very closely. For that family that you love so much, that you're hiding behind, that you claim you care so much about, that you don't want to go to jail for, you're trying to go to prison. To set the rules for a fight so high, so much of a risk that you won't fight me because you're a bitch. You won't step into a cage and you won't meet me on neutral fucking ground.
No. This is a controlled area. If you get in, you're going to be patted down, and you walk in knowing that the fight is on. Period. If you don't want to do that, you stay away. Continue yapping from behind the safety of your computer. Out there in DC last time, and the people out there are great. I mean, Lee, Steve, Rico, everyone, just fantastic. I love you. Now, I want to make this clear. Go into this knowing a guy that's a mental patient's ex-convict. He lusts after 13-year-old girls. Who hates my guts?
That's the question. Why would you mention your family, your kids, if you had no intent of bringing them in, of having them involved on? Bear in mind, this is back from November 26th, 2016, where you were talking about watching The Hobbit in Japanese with your son. You mention your son and your daughter here, almost in a bragging manner, And here's the thing. The people who do this, you mentioned this in the same breath that you're trying to accuse me of being a pedophile and a mentally disturbed person. And in so doing, here's the problem you have, Don. The only people who ever mention their children to someone, which they define what those character traits, whether they believe it themselves or they're accused of it or they know this to be through conviction and such, the only people who do this are, in fact, sex offenders who want to brag about growing their own, more or less. You know, the way certain drug addicts brag about being able to make their own drugs, such as someone who can cook meth bragging to other tweakers that they can cook meth so they don't have to pay for it. Seriously, Don, why would you mention your children and call me a sex offender and then mention your children to me? The problem you have here is that you're hiding behind your family, and it doesn't look like you care about your family, because by the mere accusation of what you accuse me of and what you swear that I am, you're bringing your kids up to me. You say you don't want your family involved, but you're right here interjecting your children. Why? Do you love them? Do you hate them? Do you wish you didn't have kids? I mean, what is wrong with you? See, Don, your lies and accusations about me, yeah, they make me look bad. They're defamation. But here's the thing. They also reflect on your character when you're bringing up your family and your children. So, Don, you only have three options here. Either A, you're hiding behind your kids, B, you're endangering your children, or C, you're molesting your kids. Now, for all you know the law, you don't know anything about Colorado Revised Statute 18-1-704, subsection 3. Notwithstanding the provisions of subsection 1 of this section, a person is not justified in using physical force if, item 3, the physical force involved is a product of combat by agreement not specifically authorized by law. Since you challenged me, you can't even claim self-defense in your own home. So, Don, let me ask, are you going to let someone call you a child molester, accuse you of touching your kids, calling your wife a whore, and as you claim threatening your family, are you just going to let that slide after you've issued a challenge? I mean, I'm not the only one who thinks this, as you can clearly see right here on the screen. So the question is, are you going to step up, or are you going to keep hiding?